Oh no, right now the sound is coming out. Now everything is good to go. I had my mic muted and I had the audio muted. Yeah. Yep. So we should be good. I have chat up on the tablet on the side. Got the notepad, got all this stuff. Let's get the game up. Loud noise. If she wants to, yeah, it's her. Let's close this off. And we're going to start. Unfortunately, I don't have dual monitors anymore, so you're going to see me switching back and forth. Yep, you will. Also, hi Bear. It's been a while. Okay, so to get everything going, we're going to open up the mission. Oh, you guys are not getting that feed. Everybody's going to be able to see my Discord. Bam. You guys can see in here. Cool. You'll notice it. Hang on, I'm gonna go back real quick. I want to let them watch the video again. Here's the video. Real quick, Beth, can you say something? You guys are not showing up in the audio. So did any of the...
Let me know when you think you've got it fixed and I'll turn the sound back up. I just don't want it to be like echoing.
Yeah, test it now. You
All
guys
right.
should be able to hear yourselves now, or hear in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm in there. Meph, can you say something?
Yep, I'm here.
Super glad we caught that now. Okay, well that one there does not have anything.
It got both of us. Okay, that fixed it.
And you can hear the music too, right?
Hang on. Yes. Yes,
Cool.
I can.
This is some of that licensed music that we got. I'm gonna play that video again because they didn't get any audio for that.
The final stage consists of an individual who is driven through universal ethical principles. Rules exist only so far as means to convey a meaning. However, a commitment to justice prevails, and all cases are to be viewed in a conditional rather than absolute way. All actions are to be
Folk proved to be more powerful than we expected, and she overwhelmed our defences. She's crossed over into a higher plane. Luckily, the artifact we activated contained the blast, and there were few casualties. However, it appears other entities have crossed over into our world. You must work quickly to identify the entities, banish them, and close the rift.
avoid punishment or promote the best interests of the individual. Mutual respect is the guiding principle of all moral decisions. While philosophers insist this stage exists,
Okay, I'm sorry, but that robot's facial features were way too human. That was actually really creepy. Also, want to take a second, Bear, you didn't hear any of this before, but I was saying hi, thank you for being here. And if you could give me your Twitter handle, I would really appreciate it, because I think I have you on Twitter, but I can't find you in on my Twitter peoples, so I would like to have a way to be able to let you know when we're doing stuff. That would be awesome. Alright, back to the game, sorry. This is the second time I had to say that.
Alright, so let's open up the mission. We're doing this on our new computer, so I may have to get the archive stuff set up. Go to the map and help Agent Trusk banish the entities. Alright. Look at that, it actually shows me. I think it's cool. Alright.
Alright, so we're supposed to identify the entities and banish them? Is that the basic gist of what we're doing? Okay. They referred to a she. It's been a while since the last episode. Was there a female entity that we were dealing with last time?
No,
the agent we were tailing, it turns out she was a turncoat of some sort.
Oh, okay.
And oh, wait till this fin. So she was a turncoat, and her issue, we don't know why she turncoat. We'll if she's the character I think she is, we'll know later on, but she was a turncoat, and so she stole an artifact and went to the Cleopatra's Needle in Britain or London.
I remember that.
And escaped through some type of portal there that she opened. But the portal ripped a hole between this plane and somewhere, the Abyssal lands, and some of the 72 demons of Solomon came through.
Okay. So that's what we're having to identify and banish. Okay.
Yeah, we previously banished a few of their demons by figuring out their true names. And then now that we've removed them, we're trying to close the portal itself.
Okay. Alright, so that's the first document there, Zero?
Yep, that's the document.
Okay.
Give me a second. If you want to go ahead and read it, just give me a second to get it up on the actual.
Do you want one of us to read out loud, or you just read over in general?
Yeah, you can read that one.
Sure. This was from Agent Trusk, subject to the Rift site report. Agent, the demons have all been banished, but the rift remains open. I have surveyed the site surrounding the gate, and there appears to be several inscriptions. On Cleopatra's Needle itself is a passage that reads, "Leave the first unchanged. Remove the second, the first, fourth, and remove the third, the next four. The word of God must be absolute." There are 2 messages carved into the sphinxes, one on each. Then it's a bunch of letters.
Take a second to get all that written down real quick.
Yeah, that passage is a little odd. Leave the first unchanged. Remove from the second the first 4, and remove from the third the next 4. The word of God must be absolute. So are they saying with these letters is what they're referring to there specifically, you think?
Yeah, I think that those 2 messages there, the void, V and whatever, and fire, EF, whatever, those are, since it's mentioning the word 4, I'm guessing we divide those, I guess it's a sentence or sequence into 4.
Okay.
And then we do some type of function or do something to them that tells us something. I assume it's some type of encoding.
So, leave the first unchanged, remove from the second the first 4, and remove from the third the next 4. Do you think that we need to figure out the spiral image, or do you think it's just the letters themselves?
Oh, I'm sure that spiral image has something to do with it.
Okay.
I think that image is a hint of something.
And that spiral image was found burned into the grass.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be fun. The very end of it says, "The words burned into the sphinxes are part of some abyssal language. If we can find out how the language encodes words, we may be able to use it to close the portal. Based on my preliminary analysis, the language is believed to be mathematical in nature. You need to reverse engineer the words and then apply that mathematical process to the holy word WHYH. I can use this to close the gate once you've encoded it properly and delivered it to me, Agent Trusk." So, fun. Is this the only document we have right now, or was this just one of them?
As soon as I'm done writing this down.
Sure.
That's spiral. I feel like that's familiar. I'm certain I've seen something like a spiral like that before.
I had sent in the other Discord channel, other Discord message, the pinecone thing with the math theorem on it.
Spiral, acorn, math. I'm just gonna
Pinecone.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was...
Fibonacci.
Yeah.
Apparently, pinecorns are known for a Fibonacci sequence. Okay.
Also, while we're figuring this out, Bear, we use Discord. That's what we're using right now. If you want to give me your Discord handle, I'd be happy to add you on there, and I could just message you in Discord every time we're going to do something. That would be super easy for me to do if you'd like that.
I posted in Discord, Callisti, just a link of what Fibonacci sequence looks like from the Math is Fun website. Just whatever.
Thank you very much. This is going to be so much fun. Math is my strong suit. And by that I mean, it's really not.
Let's write that down. I'm guessing we're not subtracting, since this is mathematical, I'm guessing we have to turn the letters into numbers. So I'm
or something like that, yeah. That would make sense. But I mean, leave the first unchanged. So whatever we're doing, the first we leave as is. As is. And then we're going to remove from the second. See, I think this is talking about words, maybe. Leave the first unchanged. Leave the first word unchanged. Remove from the second, because you're removing things from, that's why I think it's words. Remove the second, the first 4, and remove from the third, the next 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be removing the first 4 letters of the second word, I guess? My guess. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
From the second word. And remove from the third the next 4. So I assume from the third word we're removing the first 4 also.
Yep, I think you're on the right track, because it goes 4, 4, 4. So if you divide like those sequences, you get 3 sets of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that the holy word YH. What is that? YHWH?
YHWH, uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that has to go through an encoding process to turn it into the same 12-character sequence.
Okay.
So we have to figure out what the encoding process is.
So it's got to have something to do with the spiral, right? I mean...
Yep.
I think the spiral is
The spiral is the hint.
Yeah.
Because I think Fibonacci has something to do with it.
Cipher, that's what I was going. I think
Cipher, yeah.
I think the pinecone is the cipher.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Fitz. Welcome. Hadn't seen you in a little while. How are you doing?
Hey, Fitz.
You weren't first tonight. What happened? And yeah, Bear, I will add you right now real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Posted in Discord what I've written on my paper so far.
I saw, and I'm sharing full screen with you guys now, so let's see what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
So do we know what that type of coding sequence is called? The spiral thing?
I mean, the spirals, that type of spiral is very common in nature, and it's just called the Fibonacci.
It's just, okay.
Yeah. Apparently it's really common in nature, at least according to the wiki article.
Huh.
YHWH is the ancient Hebrew language that the Old Testament was written in. It did not have vowels in its alphabet.
Really?
In written form, ancient Hebrew was a consonant-only language. In the original Hebrew, God's name translates to YHWH. Sometimes written in the older style as YHVH. This is known as the tetragrammaton, meaning 4 letters. Because of the lack of vowels, Bible scholars debate how it's pronounced.
It's pronounced Bob.
Yeah.
I am God. You can call me Steve.
Bear and Fitz, I'm going to write your stuff down real quick. I couldn't get it to go through real quick, so I will, at the end of the stream or after the stream, get your stuff for Discord set up. Just so you know, I did see what you said. Sorry, go ahead.
So it said remove from the second the first 4, so I thought we take the second sequence, the VNHB, convert it to numbers and subtract the first one. So it'd be 22 minus 22, 14 minus 15, 8 minus 9, 2 minus 4.
Okay.
So that's just the first thing I was thinking of, which would be 0, 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 2.
Now what if maybe if I find what the actual Hebrew alphabet was?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Alright.
And then it says remove from the third the next 4. So what's the next 4? Would it be like 19 minus 0? That'd be 19.
So if Fitz asks, what is the Black Watchman?
Oh, wow,
That's a good question. And a loaded one. Zero, you want to try to answer that one?
It is a puzzle alternate reality game where it takes information that happens in the real world and applies it to the game in such a way where you have to use real world resources like internet, books, research, and all that kind of stuff in order to figure out the things that are happening in this alternate reality game. It also, and I'm hoping that this year when they go live, they're somewhere local, to actually go and see their live events, because they actually put on live events where you can go out and try to save agents or stop a bomb from going off, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, their live events sound like they would be amazing to attend because it's all set up like it's a mock event, but it's all set up like it's real and you get to experience it, and I just think that would be amazing. And you get to work with complete strangers on solving the puzzles, and I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's so realistic when they come to your house and put a bag over your head and kidnap you.
Yep, they go for
No, don't worry,
real.
don't worry, John. You don't need to call the cops. These guys are here for me.
Why are they
I'll be
carrying
fine.
MP5s? Don't worry about it.
I'll be back before you know it. Don't fret. The guns are just props, I promise.
Well, and then, one of the terrorists who came to go, well, no, he just fires off these shots into the ceiling. Oh, no, they're super real. Just don't worry about it.
They're blanks, man.
There's stage guns and stage bullets. I know it looks like real bullet holes. The realism is just fantastic. So in all this, what does the void fire set of letters have to do with it? Like, how does that fit in?
I'm not sure. So the first 4 letters is an actual word, void and fire.
Right.
I'm guessing that the void is converted into the next set of 4 letters, or into the next set of 4 letters through some type of encoding sequence.
Do you think it has to do with the instructions? Because
leave
the first as it is. Well, that's void and fire, and each of these are 4 letters each.
Yep.
So, but then it says you're supposed to remove the first 4 letters?
Yeah, so if we can... what I'm thinking is, if we convert them all to numbers, then removing becomes like a subtraction.
Okay.
And that's kind of what I showed on... I posted in Discord what I did.
Right.
So I'm working on void, so I took the second set of letters, 22, 14, 8, 2, which is for the VNHB,
Got it.
and subtracted the first set of letters.
Got it. Okay.
Which gave me 0, -1, -1, -2.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took... I'm not quite sure what to do with for there, so I took the third set of 4, SJAI, converted that to 191019.
Okay.
And subtracted the 0, -1, -1, -2 from that, which gave me 1911
Okay.
Which I can reconvert back into SKB K. Don't know if that means anything, but that is a sequence.
Okay.
So it's one idea.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know what that means.
No, I don't.
But it does make complete sense what you just said.
Or... what about... I mean... maybe it's actually a progressive sequence. Like the void is turned into VNHB, and then VNHB
is turned into
SJAI.
Then you have to figure out what the next 4 in the sequence would be.
Could be. Like, what's the pattern? Or maybe all of them are void, like void had nothing done to it, and then something was done to void to turn it into VNHB, and then something was done to void to turn it into SJAI.
And then you gotta figure out what would be after that for the next 4.
What's the pattern there? And presumably the same pattern is applied to the second set, fire. So it should work for both.
That would make sense, because if you look at the pattern, the V and the F are the same in the second set. So that would make sense that you're...
And I'm thinking that if we find whatever pattern this is and apply it to YHWH, that will give us an answer.
That makes sense.
I'm just not quite sure what sequence it's using to... Actually... the word of God must be absolute.
So...
it's mathematical. What is it, an absolute number?
Okay, this is gonna stretch my brain. Because I'm looking at the Fibonacci sequence. And like, the way the Fibonacci sequence is written out, it would make sense that the first letter would be the same. But then past that, I don't know how the hell you would apply that moving
0.
forward. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, you got a good idea there, because when I subtracted the first void from VNHB, that gave me 0, -1, -1, -2, which is the first 4 of the Fibonacci.
Okay.
Or, well, actually, it's a negative, but maybe it has to be an absolute number. So let's like there are no negatives. Everything is positive.
Right.
Word of God is absolute or whatever.
Right.
So what if I do take the void and subtract the first 4 Fibonacci? That should be 0, 1, 1, 2. That'll give me 22, 14, 8, 2.
Okay.
So if I subtract that, that'll give me 22, 14, 8, 2. That'll give me the second sequence.
Okay.
But if I take the second sequence and subtract the Fibonacci from that, that doesn't work. You can't go from second to third.
So...
What is it? Subtract the first unchanged, so the void is let. That's another way you can think of it. The void is left unchanged. Remove from the second the first 4, and remove from the. I assume the second first 4 would be the void, but wait, 3, 5, 8. No, could that be it?
2, 0. The same. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Wait. Before my brain loses it. I think it may be the letters are being applied through the Fibonacci sequence as this. Okay. Oh Lord, like I said, this is stretching my brain. The V, if you will, is 0 because it's the same letter. You with me so far? If you look at the next letter, it's going to be 0 and N. That's 1 apart in the alphabet. You go to the next one, same thing, 1 apart in the alphabet. Go to the next one, same thing, 2 apart in the alphabet. You with me?
What do you mean V is 2 apart?
Alright, so we got the V being the same. That's 0. Okay.
Yeah.
I and N. I mean O and N. Jeez, I can't read my own writing. So, O, N, O.
Yeah.
So N becomes before the O. It's 1 letter apart in the alphabet.
Yeah.
And then the next one's the same thing. The I is 1 letter apart from H.
Okay.
H, then I. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the B and the D are 2 letters apart. You know, B, C, D. Okay. So that matches the letters to the Fibonacci sequence. Now, what I haven't figured out is how that follows over to the next part of the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, let me write that down because I think you have the right idea. Because what I did, let me take a picture of this and I'll post what I just. Well, my phone has a terrible focusing ability. So what I did. Hopefully I don't see my pants. Yeah.
It's the next number in the sequence. It's 3.
Yeah, so what I did is I did the next 4, like the instructions did. And so I took, if you look at what I just posted on Discord, so I took the 22, 15, 9, 4 for void, subtracted the first 4 of the Fibonacci to get 22, 14, 8, 2, which can be converted back to letters, the correct letters for the second 4, the V, N, H, B. Then I took the same void, 22, 15, 9, 4, and then subtracted the next 4 from the Fibonacci sequence, 3, 5, 8, 13, which gives me 19, 10, 1, and negative 9. But I'm assuming 9, there's no negatives, everything is an absolute number.
Right.
So that's, you can convert void to the VNHB and void to the NSJAI by doing the first 4 of the Fibonacci and then the second 4 of the Fibonacci. And keeping everything absolute.
So oh, go ahead, sorry.
So if the theory holds, I should be able to take fire and do the same thing to it.
It should.
And it should work with Fibonacci.
The next letter would be 3, 5, 8, 13. So, wow, this is gonna be. You go backwards. And
This may be right. Maybe. So take the 6, 9, 18, 5 is fire, so if I take the Fibonacci of that one, or subtract it.
it does keep going. Okay.
Does it work? Okay.
Yeah, if you keep. Oh my god, though. I'm gonna have to. You know how we were talking about to get the ABCs, you gotta do the song? I need to, like, write out the ABCs real quick. Oh my god. This is like. So. S is 3 removed from V. Yep. Which means we would have to continue the sequence on. Oh, dear lord. If I've got it right, it would be. The next 4 would be. 21, 34. 55. Oh dear god. That's gonna get. Okay. Although, okay, here's what I don't know what fits in where and how. Is the YHWH. How does that fit in this at all? Like,
I think that's the equivalent of void and fire. I think that has to be translated using the same Fibonacci sequence.
okay.
What are the letters?
Sorry, go ahead.
What letters do you
The YHWH. Those are the only letters. It said that was the word of God, I think.
Yeah, it actually translated it means I am who I am.
Okay. So, oh dear God. So
It's the WH or YHWH is actually how God's name is spelt in Old Hebrew.
is it?
Yes.
Oh. So, like Yahweh. Okay, got it. Then what does that have to do? Is that just like a not important to
I've been looking for a like a translated alphabet. I haven't had any luck.
So I posted another image. I did the same sequence on fire, and it does work. You can do that Fibonacci, the first 4 of the Fibonacci and the second 4 of the Fibonacci.
Okay.
And fire can be converted in the same way.
Okay.
And it'll give you the same answer, too. So I'm wondering... if I were to... I have no idea if this is going to work, but we'll find out.
There's gotta be someone who's already done this without me having to do every single letter in my head. Oh my god. There's gotta be.
Yeah, I just wrote it out the alphabet with a number because I just couldn't do it.
Well, and the problem is the higher the sequence gets, the harder it is to figure out how far back you go because you're having to go backwards in the fucking alphabet too, so... I mean, how would you even look that up? I mean, what would you call that? Oh, wow. There is a Fibonacci number golden spiral with letters. I really hope we don't have to use that, because here, I'll show you a picture of it. This makes my head hurt just looking at it.
actually, if you were to use the pattern from the picture, maybe if you were to find where void starts.
Maybe. But yeah, that's definitely not what I was looking for. I was looking for some sort of Fibonacci sequence that had the alphabet like tied to it somehow. I am not finding a lot. You ever heard of Edgar Christensen?
Okay. So I did the same thing to Yahweh, YHWH, and I showed it in Discord, so I did the same sequence transformation.
Okay.
So that gave a 12-character sequence.
Okay.
And you can kind of see what I did. I just did the first 4 of the Fibonacci, 0, 1, 1, 2, subtracted it from the 25, 8, 23, 8, which is the YHWH.
Right.
And then I did the next 4 of the Fibonacci, the 3, 5, 8, 3, which gave 22, 3, 15, 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I converted both those 2 numbers I found back into letters and put them into its respective space, the YGVF and VCOE. So that gave us a 12-character sequence. So it's been translated in the same way that the void and fire has been translated.
Okay.
What are we looking for again? Languages.
Well, we're trying to find ultimately the entities' identities, and I
Well,
assume
we're
that
not finding the identity of anything. It's
A picture
just...
of that circle has people in chat going, my head hurts.
Oh yeah, that
That's what I
hurts.
said.
Look at.
That's what I said. I was like, no, wow, that's a thing. But Edgar Christensen wrote a book about the alphabet and Fibonacci sequence. And I'm trying to see if he's got like some kind of a written out anything anywhere, and I'm not finding anything.
Encoded it.
So, okay. Let me ask you this. Imagine you've got the alphabet out in a line, A to Z, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you need to go 21 letters backwards from where you're starting at. What's the easiest way to do that? Can you just subtract 3 because of the 24? Or... Because, okay, the place that I'm trying to find is 21 letters in front of the letter S. I think that's an S. Like, I need to, like, write more clearly. Well, let me double check and make sure that's actually an S. Yeah, it's an S. Okay. So what are 21 letters?
Welcome.
What are 21 letters in front of S in the alphabet? Like, ow. Can you just, because there's 24 letters in the alphabet, that leaves 3, can you then just subtract 3? Or does it not work that way?
Well, there's 26 letters in the alphabet,
Oh,
so...
Right. Sorry, 26. Okay. So, or what's the easiest way to figure 21 letters
just
in front
do a letter.
of S?
So, 21 letters in front or behind?
In front.
So I would just convert S to, Does it mean front, so we're going from S to T to U? In a circle?
Like, well, just like the other one instead, like,
Thank you, Bear.
I'm not sure what you're trying to find.
If you look at look at void, and then the next letters in the sequence are V, N, H, B. If you use the Fibonacci sequence numbers, the 0 is V because it's the same. The N is 1 letter off, but it's like N goes backwards to 0 or to O instead of forward. Does that make sense? Like it's 1 behind. So I know what I know what S is. Okay, so I'm trying to figure 21 letters away from S, but instead of going forward in the sequence, it needs to go backwards.
But why do you need to go
sequence.
21 letters away from S?
Because in the Fibonacci sequence, with the way these letters are set out, that would be the next number in the sequence.
Oh,
so,
the 5, 8, 13, 21?
Right,
okay.
exactly.
Why are you using that 21? Why not the first 8?
Because the V in void and the V in the next 4 set are 0. The O and the N are 1 apart. The I and the H are 1 apart.
Yep.
The D and the B are 2 apart.
Sure.
So let's go to the next one, and you have to compare the previous 4 to the current 4. So the next number in the sequence is 3. So if you look at...
Gotcha.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
In between 22 and 19 is 3. In between 15 is 10 is 5. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So to go to the next 4, what you would have to figure out is 21 letters in front of S to get the first letter in the next 4 sets.
Yep.
And I don't know the easiest way to do it, because then after that it's 34 letters in front of it, 55 letters in front of it, 89 letters in front of it, and there's got to be an easier way than going A, B, C, D, because that's going to take forever.
Yep.
So what's the easiest way to
do we need to go the next 4 letters? What's the answer? I don't suppose they were nice enough to tell us how many characters the answer.
God, no. So it says abyssal writing. We must now focus on closing the rift, investigate the portal, and find a way to issue the shutdown command. So we're looking for a shutdown.
No
command.
hints.
No hints.
Oh, hey, Stray, welcome to our, yeah, it is confusing.
Yeah, so you were...
to our puzzle night.
I'm with you, Callisto. So you were thinking, what is the 4th sequence of 4?
Exactly,
so we have the first 3, what is the 4th?
Yeah, because it seems like 4 is a repeating thing, even with Yahweh, it's 4. So I'm thinking, because that lines up with the letter sequence, then, if this precedes what comes after, well, then it would be the next 4 in the Fibonacci sequence, and using it in that way with the alphabet.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that those 4 letters are going to give us a word that's useful, I hope.
what I did is that I used exactly what you said, and I did the Fibonacci on the fire as well, and so it follows the same pattern that you were talking about.
Right.
And so I did the same thing you said on the Fibonacci for the Yahweh, however that's pronounced.
Right.
And that's how I got that 3 set of 4 for Yahweh, the Y, G, V, W, F, and V, C, O, E.
Right.
So it says in the instructions that the Y, H, W, H is what he needs to use for the closing.
Okay.
So why don't we try using your sequence, what you said with the Fibonacci on Yahweh? I posted in Discord and try that as an answer.
Okay.
Because it may be that we just have to convert the Yahweh and not the void.
And not the next 4. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but where do we put it in the sequence? Do we then insert the Yahweh starting at 21, or do we start it back at 0? I don't know where to start it in the sequence.
Oh no, I think we can do it the same thing in Yahweh. I did that, when I convert on Yahweh, I just started the first what I posted in Discord. I just used 0112 on Yahweh.
Okay.
Which gave me those first 4 letters, and then used the 3, 5, 8, 13.
Okay.
On Yahweh.
So you added to that. So you got to the 3, 5, 8, 13, and that's what the VCOE is?
Yes, I didn't go to 21 yet.
So that was what we need to do. VCOE needs to be converted with 21, 34, 55, and 89, right?
Oh, no. I'm just saying, what if we don't have to go to the next 4?
What if it's just the VCOE?
What if it's just those?
Well, we could try it. There's no harm in trying it.
Yeah, because I just did the Fibonacci sequence that you mentioned.
Okay.
So Zero, can you give it a shot in Steam? Or
absolutely. What am I writing?
Try VCOE. Okay. Just out of my own curiosity, how about YGVF? No.
And it doesn't show us how many letters we need, right?
There's no.
I think it's going to be 4.
Let's try them all together.
Well, what if we try the... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
YHWH.
Actually, I have all of them written down. I was going to be doing this, but go ahead.
Yeah. YGVF.
YGVF.
And then VCOE.
VCOE. Space, I've written all of them, right?
No spaces. Get rid of the spaces.
Okay.
Do it just like they did for Void and Fire. They didn't have any spaces there.
Hey Ma, welcome to our puzzle night.
That's right.
Well done, agent. The portal has been
Was
closed,
it?
and we were able to successfully protect the area from any
awesome.
major damage.
So
Report
it was
back to
all
HQ
of them.
with code Charlie Tango Kilo 5 Bravo. Repeat, Charlie Tango Kilo 5 Bravo.
CTK.
Could you repeat that or replay the video?
I think it
I
was
kind of missed it.
CTKSB, I think's what he said.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just replay the video and you can watch it
I'm
again.
going to
Yeah,
break
yeah.
now.
Well done, agents. The portal has been closed, and we were able to successfully protect the area from any major damage. Report back to HQ with code Charlie Tango Kilo 5 Bravo. Repeat, Charlie Tango Kilo 5 Bravo.
Awesome. So the answer, just so I know, the answer was simply the whole process of sequence from the Yahweh to the Vico.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
yeah. No, that was a good find when you talked about the Fibonacci, how it was connected. I didn't think about that. I thought the Fibonacci was just, I thought that was just fluff.
Right.
Thank you.
No, they
Fitz.
were they were directly using the Fibonacci with those letters. So that was fun.
That was something.
Yeah. Cool. So Fitz put it in chat too in case we forget it. All right. So now we take the CTK5B and apply it to our next one, or do we need to hang on to that as?
You enter that at the
So,
end part.
Here's where
Okay.
we go.
Okay.
Well done,
so-
agent. You have completed this mission successfully. Go back to the agent map for your next assignment, or review the mission hub for further objectives. There is no objectives on the map, so we're going back to the mission hub. Putting in this code here. Once we open the mission, it will allow us to move forward.
Oh, the CTK. 5B.
CTK5B.
Cool.
Enter.
Yay.
Because of our swift actions, the rift site has been contained. Early reports suggest Vanessa Bope completed the ritual and is no longer part of our world. Many questions are left unanswered, and you have to report to the agency for an extensive debriefing. Agent, you have come a long way from your initial training missions. Congratulations are in order. You are now a key member of our organization, but you must stay vigilant. This is only the beginning. Darkness lies ahead.
I mean,
Yes.
she vanished to another realm of existence. Yeah, there's a lot of questions still
Yeah.
left. I mean, oh my god.
Kind of like what we talked about before. The Black Watchmen are not the good guys; they're just the less bad guys.
They're kind of men in black, honestly. They kind of patrol things, but also, yeah, they're not the good guys.
So here is the campaign report. Agent First Class, agent, your actions in the fields have been noticed, and the agency has decided to promote you to the rank of Agent First Class.
Woohoo!
Rosenberg Clinic was raided. Super term. The lab was infiltrated. The ancient ruptured bones were infiltrated, and Morpho Medical was raided. Total hours logged 18. Submitted investigations 229. Completed investigations 59. Completed missions 24. Calls for help.
I didn't even know that was an option.
I,
How do you
0.
call for help? Is it like a hint option or something?
It's something you can get help with if you're having trouble.
Alright,
Oh.
so, and this was the report that
Yep.
closes out season 1.
Yeah,
Wow.
we did it in 18 hours.
18
That's
hours.
really fast.
That's pretty good.
Now
Yeah.
we get to go back and do it on hard mode.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
I think I did it in about 50 the first time I went through.
Oh, wow.
It helps having so many different minds going at it at the same time because you can see it from different angles. And like one little idea, it's like brainstorming. One little idea from someone might spark an idea in someone else. So I think that really helped. I feel like we flew through that. Like considering, I mean, I know there's a lot of parts we got like stuck on, but I feel like we did really good with that.
Yeah,
And I'm-
everybody had their.
I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in season 2. Because I feel like this is the kind of game that just is going to keep getting better. Like, the more they get under their belt, the more complex they're going to get with things.
A lot of people think Season 1 was the worst season in a lot of people's minds.
And I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, no, it's the worst season, even though it was great.
Yeah, that says a lot about a game. For that to be the worst one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And
yeah, I think there's a few side stories
listed in is I put it in the? Oh damn, I didn't. I meant to. Anyway, it's like $5 on Steam if you guys want to give this a shot yourselves. It's really, really good.
Oh, it's worth every penny. And you get to choose when you go into the game what level of interactivity you want with it, which I think is amazing. You can just do this by yourself. You can have them where they contact you through your emails and on your phone. You can have in-person stuff. I mean, it's up to you how integrated you want to be with this game. But I mean, I don't even know how they don't. I would think they should charge more for the game, to be honest. It's got a lot to it, and I really think it's amazing.
I'm going to try to get us approved for orange and yellow.
If you want to do the actual in-person stuff, like be an actor, like a hostage for the terrorist to kidnap, or a terrorist yourself, you have to go through a full medical checkup and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, Bear, that's what we're saying. Like, in real life, they will come to I don't know what the scenarios are, but for instance, they'll show up in front of your house, like in a black van, and, kidnap you and take you off to this preset made up scenario that you are going through, with guns and terrorists and whatever you have to do.
they do give you a heads up. They don't just show up at midnight. It's like, you're... No, you get months in advance, and as do you want to be hostage A for here, and you say oh yeah, that sounds cool. We're gonna have you shot in here in front of the camera, like, cool, I get to be executed.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing to be part of a live event. But can you imagine if they didn't give you forewarning, like your forewarning, and you want to be a part of it, like 3 months down the road, suddenly they just show up at your job.
They show up while I'm teaching and in front of a room full of students.
You don't know that there's 3 plants in your classroom. They just come in and shoot the plants. Fucking blood everywhere. Kidnap you. Take off. Every one of your students is freaking.
Oh my god!
Everyone down.
Oh my god!
The viralness of those videos that go on YouTube. My teacher is taking my turn.
You could never have something like that nowadays, and it would be so awesome. But...
Oh man, the sheer blowout if they actually did something like that.
Oh my
god! Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh my god, I'd love it. I would agree to do something like that. I would. That'd be amazing. Of course, now the bad thing would be is if you got involved in a situation and you thought it was fake, you're like, oh, this is the Black Watchman, and it wasn't.
Oh yeah, you thought you were gonna be like kidnapped that night.
You're being real cocky with the bank robbers. You're like, yeah, you're gonna shoot us. I get it.
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
It's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
The bank robber shoots the person next to you, and his whole head is blowing off. Like, wow, that's really realistic
good.
makeup.
You're going up, dipping your finger in it, tasting it. That's amazing. That's
wow, they really went all out on this.
You guys are great. I love you guys. And the bank robbers are so fucking confused. Like, oh my god. Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So yeah, there are real life events that you can be a part of, and I hope at some point in this we're able to do that, because holy shit, that would be amazing.
Yeah, the live events are limited time because they just happen and they come up. There was one last December where we got with a recurring character of Whitechapel, so that was a cool one, and so there will be some more events coming up, I'm sure.
I can't wait for the season to actually go live. I'm really hoping that something happens in Philadelphia, because it's so close. I can just go down and film everything. Getting footage like that for the channel. Oh my god, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. During the end of season 1, there was a big live event in Montreal, Canada, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I may be mixing up my locations, where we actually dealt with that girl or woman who escaped into the portal.
Oh, wow.
She was escaping, and so we had to provide a actual route for her to take, and so people, scouted locations and helped the black van get through checkpoints.
That's so cool. So, like, if you're not able to actually physically go to the live event, are you able to actually go online and...
Oh yeah, there's usually a lot of stuff to be done depending on the live event. So you'll have the people who go to the actual thing, you'll have the people who will be on the Discord, with huge numbers of other people going over, some live events are you have a very limited time span to deal with them. So there's none of this where we can just come back to it later after a few weeks. It's like you solve it in the next 2 days, or this person's dead.
Oh wow!
Oh,
and
so cool. That's so cool.
And so
of course they actually shoot someone.
Oh yeah. They're super dead. They're 6 feet under.
They gotta take breaks in between because they gotta go through the rehire process.
Yeah. Yeah, they just and they'll if you're successful, you were successful. Maybe you saved that gal, but you weren't able to solve this thing, and so that guy got shot, and that bomb went off, knocking out that building or whatever.
So, like, how often, or do they actually try to have the live events?
Oh, I don't know the time frame. I don't catch all of them.
I'm sure it's not very often because just something like that would take so much planning and preparation. Like, I can't even imagine what you'd have to go through. I mean, because if nothing else, the area you're in, you'd have to contact all the local authorities. You would have to contact anyone in the area you're going to be doing the event in. Like, this is not real.
Yeah, I'm always still surprised they haven't got on the news yet for calling the Black Watchmen a terrorist organization or something.
They have to go through like extensive licensing.
Yeah, they would. Can you imagine the insurance?
all of the stuff for the day. The police department has to be in on it. The fire department has to be in on it.
Right.
Like, there's no way they're just like, okay, this is what we're gonna do today. We can't.
It would take a lot of planning.
Remember what happened to Tina when she got caught? We left her in jail.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I love the fact that these people who have created this game are willing to take it so far. I think that's amazing. And I really hope we're a part of it at some point because it just sounds great.
All of it does. I mean, and it's funny too because I think it was like this episode came out so late because there's a lot of personal stuff going on my end. We had to cancel for a little bit. But the last episode or 2 episodes back, we actually had the developers, Allison Smith, contact us. Remember when we were working on trying to figure out what the actress and the storage place had in common?
Yeah, because there was several things and they were like, okay, how does that connect? We figured it out, but we couldn't necessarily figure out what one had to do with the other.
We actually made a jump there, like a logic jump. It was just like, it was one of those moments where we were like, well, let's try this and see if it works. And then we were like, oh, we got it, let's move on. So they actually sent a list explaining the logic behind the puzzle for us. And then going down to a YouTube video, which was attached to a URL. The reason that we couldn't find and connect it was because their URL was outdated. So when we were looking at a bunch of letters, the letters were actually the end of a YouTube link for us to go to YouTube and attach those letters to the back of a YouTube link and then watch the video that was based on her and a movie that she was in called Metro, and the storage place was called Metro Storage.
Right,
and that was the connection that we were missing. Yeah. But they, since then... Alright, Fitz, awesome. We will, as soon as the thing's over, we're going to send out invitations. If you want, also, I believe there is not. I need to fix that. There should be a link in the description as well. But yeah, they sent out a thing explaining their logic behind the puzzles, and we happened to be doing the puzzle when I guess it just went outdated, but we were able to figure it out without doing it, and yeah, they actually commented on our Twitter about it.
Yeah, I think it's super impressive and thoughtful of them to have contacted us and been like, hey, we see that you had a stream and you couldn't figure this out. Well, this is our thought process.
I think it's absolutely hysterical that the creators were watching somebody like us try to put it on.
Well, I think it's just amazing that anybody even involved with the organization took the time to be like, hey, well, here's what we were thinking. Here's how we connected it. So yeah, they're very interactive, even though, how many seasons has this been out now? Like 4?
We got a couple seasons now.
Yeah. So even us in the first season right now, they're still coming back and being interactive with us, which I think is just amazing, by any creator to do. But yeah, it was super, it was, impressed upon all of us, I think, a sense of, wow, that's really nice of them to do. And we really appreciated it. But
again, like
I'm
I said,
loving this game.
The game is like $5. I think during the sale, I picked it up for, I don't know, it was like $1.99, something like that. I picked up the entire collection. So if you're interested in puzzles and you want to try some of the stuff yourself, it's totally worth a couple dollars to actually try out.
Absolutely. You can just go to Steam and look up, what is it, the Black Watchmen, and it'll bring up all the games and the seasons that they currently have, and they are still putting out new content, so definitely worth a look at. And again, like I said before, and I want to keep saying it, I'm super excited to start season 2. Like I enjoy this so much. The mind puzzles, even though it's like sometimes my brain hurts when we're done, or it's like, oh my god, like making my brain work. I love it. I think it's great.
We'll probably be starting season 2 probably at the end of summer, I think. Maybe a little bit sooner. I have the second channel that just went live, Paranormal Toad. That's if you go to the front of our channel right now, you can see it on our side. And we're working on a third channel as well, and everything should be up and running by the end of summer. And everything on this channel should be back to normal scheduling stuff in the next week or so. But yeah, Meph, as long as you're interested in stuff like that, when we get back into it, I'd love to have you again.
Sure.
Yeah.
All good.
And, I'll extend the invitation to Zataji as well, and see if he's interested. Yeah, that's it for tonight.
Yep. The only thing we have left was the Discord stuff, and I'm going to go now and try to go ahead and add you guys in with the Discord. If you want to stay in the chat even after the stream is over, I can make sure that we've gotten that fixed, or we found you properly. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Bear. I really did. I thought it was a lot of fun, and it was a neat little last one.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like I said, our normal schedule should be back in like a week or so. The next stream on the channel will be Friday night at 6 p.m. And that is Ravine and I picking up where we left off with Bioshock. So until then, guys, take it easy.
Have a good night, everyone.
Night.